This is Callum Brownsmith for my technical reflection for my advanced technical design module, semester one. This is my Lego Rick and Morty game, and I'll just give you a quick overview on what it's about. Basically, you got Rick and Morty who need who need to save this little village here, or town, or whatever we want to call it, from a giant Mr. Meeseeks, which is just here. So let's just start this game. So I start the game with getting ejected, build and get in a spacecraft. As you can see, there's a weapon wheel on the bottom right. Um, this is disabled. As you can see, it says usable on Meeseeks box, so that's why there's this error sound. If you right click, you can switch to Morty, and he can shoot, but no reason for it. Switch back. So I'll just quickly show the code for that one. So there's some checks before the switch. You have to check, is Rick in the car, and is Morty in the car. If they are not, then another check is fired to see if they are falling. Again, if they are not, another check is fired to see if they are building. If they are not, then movement mode is set to none, so they stop moving. Then disable input. The input is disabled, and then the sound is played. Switching character variable is checked to true from the base player character blueprint, and then the camera rather, is switched to the second character. And finally, all the original variables are switched back to either true or false. So the switching character is false, and then if it's being switched to Rick, Rick is true. If it's being switched to Morty, Rick is false. And then input is enabled again, and moving is enabled. So that's how the switching character works. So the next bit in the game is you need to build the ship, and only Rick can do this. That's why he's got his head there. So you just hold E, and if you let go of E, he stops building, and you can walk away. But while you're building, you cannot move. So all of that fire is very quick, and some studs, but as they act as coins if you've ever played a Lego game before. So this works by here it is. So this works by first got some initial checks. So you got to check if it's Rick, as I only want Rick to be building it. And if it's true, you can have the render cursor death. That's the outline that happens when you hover over. Then, as I wanted the ability to stop building halfway through, I check if the builder stopped once, so I created a boolean for that. If it's false, then you start the build by playing the animation. I created an animation in 3ds Max for this, of it building, going from the bricks flying from one place to another. If this build stop once is true, then you just resume build by just playing, because play animation plays from the start. Playing just resumes it. And yeah, that's how, and all of this is reset to true, and that's to false. The movement mode is set to false. When the build is finished, I use a bind event on audio finish, because this build sound is the exact same length as the build time. So when this is finished, the this event fires. So Rick is able to walk again. The build has no collision, and the timeline plays. This is for spawning the studs, and then the actual space cruiser is spawned in the location of where the build ended, and then the actor is destroyed. So for the playing timeline, you got 8 studs, and they follow this timeline. And I've got a macro here, all referencing a spline and a stud. So let's open this. So all it is, you just get the location and follow the spline. That is as simple as that, really. And you and then with all that, you set the actor location. Yes, and in the construction script, I set the spline location for the stud to the start of the spline. Yes, and on begin play, the studs, I set them to hidden in game, because I don't want to see them before the build ends. I mean, I don't want to see them before the space cruiser has been fully built. And this is just to show the Rick icon face, Rick icon, so it faces the camera at all times. So that's that bit. And I'll just quickly show the studs. So this is the blue stud, but they all work the exact same. So if it overlaps with the player or overlaps with the ship, so the ship can collect the coins while flying, then the stud counter in the game mode is increased. In this case, blue stud is 1,000. And then in the game instance, the it saves the studs and sets the stud counter in the game mode, and then the actor is destroyed. So go back to the game and quickly collect all these and get in. So some UI shows up, a new objective, and you can see you need to fly through the rings, and you have to do all 10 rings. So there's a coin in each ring. There's silver, gold, blue and purple studs. There we go, just click the purple one. I'll just open up a. So I'll just close that one. I'll show you the car. So so for the movements, it's just forward or backward and adds movement input. This uses a floating pawn movement to make it fly, and using an input access ones that I've created for car throttle. Just add movement input again. So to enter the car, I use the custom event that I've created, and it just checks the booleans is in car, and then the vehicle is possessed, so that the players are no longer being possessed. The widget that you saw for the engine and the counter for the rings is shown on screen. And then the objective is set for, with the text saying fly through the rings. To exit the car, I set the driver location and the passenger location, and before I do that, rather, I have a line trace to check if it's close to ground or not. And then the warm down in the car HUD, so that goes from 100% to 0. And then the Rick sitting and Morty sitting models that are inside of the car is set to invisible. And then Rick and Morty are teleported from their initial locations to the either side of the car when they get out. And is in car is checked to false. And then the camera is going back to Rick's camera. And everything is being repossessed here. Okay, so back in the game. Let's just finish going through all these rings. So I might just quickly show you the rings. This is just simple. So when the car goes through the ring, adds 1 to the ring counter in the game mode, and then the player detects component destroyed, and after 3 seconds the actor is destroyed. And once I click the last one, the shield goes down. So I hold shift to go down, and I press E, engine goes down to 0, and I leave. So now, so I got kill 0-25, and now my first weapon is enabled for Rick. So if I left click, a portal spawns, and a grenade from a grenade dimension is spawned. So if I switch to Morty, because it's a little bit easier to fight with Morty. And every time you kill the Meeseeks, they have random drops of hearts or silver or gold studs. I mean, or any of the studs rather. I think except for purple. So there's a heart there. But if just kill this one first. So I'll just show Morty dying. There's a little bit of an issue there because they obviously keep attacking. But I've never done I've also never done character switching before, and that was a big challenge. I definitely could have done it better. Right, so that's all of them killed. So I'll just switch back. So I can now switch between.
No!
So I can now switch between weapons. So I'm just gonna try and kill these with the grenade.
No.
Okay, this might be a little bit difficult.
No! 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 No!
Apologies for that. Turns out my engine just crashed, so I just had to quickly get back to where I was. So this is the pause menu, so I'll quickly show off. So I just have the controls menu in this. So resume the game. So at this point in the game, you have unlocked the rockets, and you can.
No?
Hang on, 1 second. So I have it. So once the kills have reached 25, the Meeseeks stops spawning, and I actually quickly show. Just checking there's none around. Okay, so I'll just quickly show this. So in the spawner, so to spawn them, you have it on a timer of a 10-second timer, and you need to make sure that the car is overlapping with the box, because that just shows that it's landed there. And it sets the respawn transform for respawning the player to on top of the box. And then is on box is true, and then spawning starts. So this is a macro. So it spawns 3 at a time. So you just get a random point in the bounding box, and the bounding box, there's three different ones. So there's these red ones here. That's where they spawn. And then it checks if the kill counter from the game mode is equal or greater than 25. If it is, this timer is paused. If it isn't, nothing happens. And then the kill Mr. Meeseeks objective is set, and is set to visible. And after 10 seconds of being on the box, an invisible wall is checked with because it has walls around these blue boxes. just makes it easier as they're all in one blueprint. And the Meeseeks enemy as well. So this has a health check on begin play. If the health is set to 0, there's death plays and this timer is paused. And then after 3 seconds, the axe is destroyed. And death, the the mesh is set to invisible, and then the legs, body, and head, separate pieces, are set to visible. And these death animations are played, and all that is just simulating physics of them dying. The character movement is disabled, and then the kill counter adds 1 to it, and it just drops a random drop. And these are heart, a gold stud, nothing, blue stud, silver stud, and nothing. Um, and this piece here uh, determines which player hurt sound is played depending on which character is selected. So if it's Rick, Rick's hurt sound will play. If it's Morty, Morty's hurt sound will play. And there's multiple hurt sounds for each character. And this will damage the enemy if hit by Morty's laser. And this is just the attacking montage. So that's everything for the enemy. So back to Rick. So he has to destroy this Meeseeks enemy. So now that the rocket is selected, portal comes out, 4 rockets shoot. And another, and do it again. There we go, he's dead. So now using new teleport portal mode on the portal gun to go back home. So I'll do that in a second. I'll just quickly show the what's it called, the weapon. So first the portal gun. So so for the grenade portal, well, to be honest, they're all very similar, um, because they are just firing the a portal gun bullet, and it gets the socket transform, which is the gun. And after 5 seconds, this do once will reset. And these are 3 different grenades. These rather 3 different bullets of portals. So for the grenade, when it hits the Meeseeks box, the visibility of the bullet, which is the circle one, is set to invisible, and it spawns the grenade portal. So the grenade portal is that, and it rotates it. So you grow portal using a scale and a timeline, and this works the same for the shrinking. And then after 3 seconds of growing the portal, the grenade is spawned, and then it adds an impulse. So If I find the grenade,
No! No! No!
okay.
No! No! No?
Just switch to Morty again. Apologies again, my engine crashed for a second time. So back where I left off, I was about to show the grenade. So the grenade is very simple. Using a timer, it after 3 seconds of being spawned, it detonates and the explosion particle is spawned, or explosion blueprint is spawned, and the damage sphere is set to 400, um, and this damages the enemies, doesn't damage the player though. The grenade is set to invisible, and after 1.5 seconds the active is destroyed, and this is how the health is taken off the enemy. There's 4 health on the enemy and it takes 3 off it. So finally for the grenade, I'll only show the grenade because that's the only important one for Rick. Fires the impulse and plays the sound, and that's the explosion there, and it's got a radial force on it. So now that I've shown the grenade, I might as well just quickly show the rocket, to be honest, because that's very simple. All it is, spawns the sound on begin play, that's the firing sound, and on impact, the explosion is spawned, and that's about it. And then after 3 seconds, the component is destroyed. And for the laser gun, from Morty's laser gun, using the fire custom event, the laser projectile is spawned, and this projectile, oh, nope, because it's in the enemy, isn't it? I keep forgetting that. And got different types of portals. We've got weapon portals here. Um, the teleport portal, which I'm about to show, is grows and shrinks like like the weapon portal does, and on enter it teleports the player back to the house, and it spawns this end portal as well. So let's just do that now. So get the end portal, and we can walk through. That's the end of the game. And that just counts our studs. And then yes, that's the end of the game. So just quickly show this, got a classic Lego sound. Like I showed before, I've got the control screen there, which is all fine, and then just quit the game and that works. So haven't really showed the player. So for Morty, well actually the base character has all the respawn functionality in it. So in the game mode, there's a respawn transform variable, and this is set uh, at the start of the game. And this is the enter car for Rick. The one of the functionalities needed for entering the car. So if it's overlapping the capsule component, then the meshes are set to invisible, and the sitting static meshes are set to visible, so they're visible inside of the car. So it looks like they're flying it. And then the camera is set to the the one of the ship. That's everything. Yeah. In Rick, this sets the portal modes. So on fire, it checks if it's overlapping the Meeseeks spawn box, and if it is, the usability text, so the text at the start of the game that says only usable on Meeseeks spawn on Meeseeks box is set to hidden, and depending on which condition, um, which mode rather, is set. So 0 is grenade, 1 is missile, and 2 is the teleport. Um, so this fires grenade portal from the portal gun. Um, this fires the rocket portal, and if this is if the kill, but it only fires it if the kill counter is 25 or above. Um, and to fire the teleport, if the kill counter again is 25 or above, and the giant Meeseek is health is less than 0, equal or less than 0, then uh, the the teleport portal will fire. And in Morty, just check there's nothing else in Rick. Oh yeah, so this just spawns the portal gun in handle and begin play. Just puts the portal gun blueprint in the hand. So yeah, just attaches it to the component, and if he's in the car, the portal gun is set to invisible. For Morty, does the same thing. Attaches to the hand. If he's in the car, it's set to invisible. To fire the gun, use input action fire, left mouse button. Um, there's the fire one that I showed you earlier in the laser gun blueprint. And after 0.1 seconds, this do once is reset. So it's sort of a rapid fire. And to check the health, if the health is less than 0, then the gun is hidden in game, the mesh is hidden in game, the loose head, body, and legs is set to visible, and they simulate physics, so it has the classic Lego break apart death animation without needing an animation. Um, Spawns the death sound, and after 5 seconds, the actor is destroyed. And this is the same for Rick. So that's about it. Yep. Thank you for listening to this technical reflection.